the windows so crappy, they had to do it. Yes, I had to pay for it. I didn't have a choice on that. And then they came with these crappy doors, which I could refuse because under my legal rights, I don't have to accept that. So if the council decides for whatever reason that we are idiots or stupid, and therefore we do understand the technicalities that they are dealing with, then take your phone, give them the information, put the information down, and let's work on it.
I've got two people who are coming. I just want to expand one thing on your question, Mr. Minister, is that we are not only being kept in the dark about the plans, the architectural, the density, but on the financial.
Exactly. Show me the numbers. I can analyze it for you for free.
And where the money is coming from, where the money is going to go from what we sell on the state and so on. Yes, sir.
Yes, good evening. John Webb. I'm a committee member on the Lambeth Leaseholders Council. This subject was brought up, it being within the wedge of a lot of regeneration in the area. And one of the comments that was made by a member of Lambeth Council, or Lambeth Living, whatever, was that when they do the compulsory purchase on leaseholders, that they would have a right to buy back into the newly developed property, the new development, obviously at an enhanced price. So who is going to cover the leaseholders for this difference? Bearing in mind that they have had been compulsorily purchased. Right? And who is going to value this and when?
Thank you, sir.
You've been asked to do this for Lambeth Council. Have they briefed you on a lot of these issues that people are asking? No, exactly. So it's just unbelievable. And then you should really take that back. It's quite shocking that the kind of detailed questions that people are bound to want to know the answers to, and I don't know the answers to, and Elliot doesn't know the answers to, that nobody can give the answers, even if the council officers were there. Because when they came to Night's Walk, they certainly couldn't give the answers. So, you know, the whole thing is built on a complete
secrecy.
Yeah,
secrecy. Manipulating, hiding information.
Well, I believe.
You can just give us a sec.
With regeneration seems to be the favourite word everywhere. Regeneration everywhere you go. It's about regeneration. Nobody letting regeneration go. Another thing, if we didn't have that car next to us, that's the only by one side. But they be doing this work. No, they bloody would. They wouldn't be allowed to. So they're using the fact that we've got a car next to us. So that's why they get away with it, yeah? And we think we have options. We have none. They've already made up their minds.
Okay, I would like to think they would like to debate them.
Well, I believe that leaseholders will have completely unbiased valuations from people of their choice, I believe. And it's all set out in that draft paper, isn't it?
No,
well, it's also set out in that draft paper that if there's a compulsory purchase order, you are out of the state, you can dispute that, you can fight that in courts, but whilst you're fighting that in courts, you have not seen a penny of your money, but you still have to get out.
And you're never ever going to, at the price Lambeth are going to sit here, I mean, you'll listen Night's Walk, be able to buy something similar to what you've got in this area. So it's a complete and
exactly. That was the point I was going to make. I was going to make, if they give you a valuation of the flat and they say 1 bedroom flat, so let's say 180,000, go and try and buy a 1 bedroom flat anywhere here. So if that is what you want to do, then fair is fair. Give them a valuation of a standard 1 bedroom flat in Vauxhall, and I think you wouldn't have any arguments.
Okay, anybody else wants to raise the point?
Yeah, Elaine, people come up to me who recently have purchased property, and when they do the searches, it's not even in the searches. Now, this has been going on for some time. So Lambeth are so scared, they don't even want to put it in the searches, so to fight anybody else off.
The argument Lambeth has presented to that is that until a demolition order is raised, they do not have an obligation to make that public, therefore it would not appear on searches. I think in regards to financials, I'm quite concerned that just in 2013 2014, we had a full kitchen and bathroom replacement on the estates and the tenants properties. The year before, we had the tower blocks painted and completely redone. That we have flats being sold still up to January with no information about them possibly being demolished, and that the council has put money, or has put some money, onto Westbury Estate to make it decent to live in. And now I would like to know, where is your information coming from to say that it's not decent? And if it's not decent, if the flats are rotten to be knocked, as the court has to say, where are you getting that information from? And why haven't you done anything about making them livable, a decent standard of living up to now? So why are you allowing them to become to such a state of disrepair that the only option you have is to knock them over? Which I disagree. I think for the people who live in Isley Court or any of the Blue Towers, do you feel that your house is in such a state of disrepair that it needs to be knocked over?
Well, the cladding on the outside of one house is coming off. It's now going straight into the concrete. And as far as I can see, the member council have not done any repair work for over 12 years on it.
And they would not do now, because it needs to look rotten best. It needs to look really bad, because then they can knock it out. Tom, do you want to make a contribution? I think you had said at the beginning that you are from the Tenants Council. Maybe you want to know?
No, I'm the vice chair of your local area board. Yeah, I would like to say something.
Please do.
I'm going to make myself unpopular and perhaps give you a reality check. Because the fact is, it's very easy to sit in a meeting and exchange same viewpoints backwards and forwards and feel a sense of righteous indignation about the council work.
Excuse me.
It is easy, right? But one of the challenges I would like to give to Kate and to the councillors is, who is speaking for the couple of hundred people who could be new tenants, who are living in temporary accommodation or terrible private accommodation now? Where are their names listed? It is one of the characteristics of this whole new generation who has been real cowardice. Officers have refused to give you information because they don't want to become that. Local politicians won't say anything to you because they don't want to be unpopular. They're thinking about their elections and so on. I think you have to step back for your own unit and think if you want to get a decent resolution, you have to see it in how it's going to fit into the wider world. The fact is, things are not going to get better. One of the key characteristics of this discussion is about density. And the lady thought that I live in Woodley Gardens, which is a lot worse than this estate. Right. Now, the point is, the density thing, you're right. The council is concerned about density, and things are going to get worse because in the revisions to the Greater London Plan, which are going to be coming through in May, there's going to be an increase in the densities that are expected across London. This is partly because London has some of the lowest density housing in the Western world, in any large city. So, it seems to me the problem you've got at the minute is you're all responding to the various things that the council offers.
They're not giving them offering.
What are they offering? You're right, the information is important. I think you need to step back and say, actually, forget about what the council wants. What do you want? It's no good. If you want to achieve something for your best interest, it is no good. Just arguing against what the council proposes. Make your own proposal. Develop your own proposal. What do you want? But much of your discussion has been about which option, which number. This is what land is pushing. What about what you want?
Okay, guys, this is why. Let's take one meeting.
Because in the wider world, you need to know that if you do not increase the density of housing, your children will have nowhere to live. That's the reality in London. So what you need to know are two things. How can you increase the number of people
Okay, thank you, Rob. I think, come on, guys, let's keep this going. Okay, thank you, Ron, for your point. I think we need to hear. Come on, we need to hear that this is not an unanimous view. That there are other factors that demand what is going on here. So I think Ron has done a good job in raising some of the things that the council is thinking, the Mayor of London is thinking, and the other people who are waiting on the 31,000 people waiting on the waiting list are thinking about, well, I want a place to live, you're lucky to have one, I want to be lucky too. Let's not bash it, Ron. It is an independent view.
The point is, I'm entirely on your side, don't get me wrong. But I want you to succeed. But I think you need to think very carefully about what you need to do to succeed. Because otherwise, it ends up with the council getting their own way.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Can I just say, that's what we're here for, and that's the only reason that the council went back and came out with another 5 offers, is because we are telling them, we want to work with you. We are not saying, get away from my backyard. We're saying, let's talk. Let's see what works for us. Let's see what works for the council. So we are trying, on our part, to engage with the council on those discussions. So I have the lady at the back, and then I come back to you, sir.
Hi there,
Can you please say where you're from, yeah?
My name's Joan Denning. I actually live in Cotton Gardens Estate, which is part of the Knight's Walk estate. I'm an architect, and I run a small collective of architects called Architects for Social Housing, which is set up in order to help people like yourselves, essentially residents, and working with Pressing Gardens and with Knight's Walk at the moment to try and help them put forward their own proposals. But I mean, because what the chap there is saying, you know, there's certainly truth in that. You know, there's you know, there's a lot to be said for wanting to keep things as they are, and you know, London is changing, and I think you know, it's about taking control of that for yourselves. And so, I mean, we're a kind of collective of architects who are potentially helping you guys out. So hopefully we can be part, to some extent, of your conversations.
Thank you. Thank you. Jamie?
I think just to add to that. To add to that and what Ron was saying, we actually did present Lambeth and Nicola in the last meeting we had about an independent architect and our proposals. And Julian had, and this will be shown in a minute, he said no, Nigel hasn't been there. So it's not that we've asked, but whatever we want is not an option, and that's the problem. And that's why we're here, to see what we can move forward properly. And you know, you're quite right, but everything we suggest is put on the side, and that's what makes people frustrated.
Sorry, just to add to that, is the fact that we are telling the council what we feel is reasonable and so on, that's making them listen a little bit more and not being here today. But also, we have said, okay, this is not too much of a bad idea, let's work with that a little bit. And we were told, although there are 5 options, the council is already dismissing some of them because it's not going to build as many as properties as they would like to see. So the ones that are proposed to build 106, for example, they are not really giving much of a down for that, because that is not going to hit the targets that they have of filling up these square meters that we have there with 520 properties. That's what they have in mind, that's what they would think is reasonable. Less. I will come back to you, sir.
Said and what Ron said, that the players and residents, you have the intent to come up with suggestions, proposals, where land can build on this site without demolition. We've suggested areas, but everything we've said has been no, demolition. I don't know what we'll do, but we're going to demolish.
And I think that is what's happening on nearly all the areas. It's certainly happening on Knight's Walk, although they're now working to try and get a solution. Because nobody on those estates understands more than the people living in those estates how much shortage there is of housing in London. But I would say that Lambeth has not cut a very good deal over the years with some of these big developers where they have not got even the 40% of affordable housing, so-called, that they should have got. So I'm not going to defend Lambeth Council at all in the way that they have handled this. And Ron, there is a housing shortage, but to destroy people's homes and to destroy communities is not long term, going to be sustainable in London. And you know, the idea that somehow, you know, all of this has gone wrong because Lambeth did what they have afraid of done. Whoever's running the council, whatever party's running it, they have an attitude that starts off by what they want, and you're the last people who've been involved. And if they'd listened to the residents and come to them first and said, look, we really want to talk to you, we need more housing, can we now look at this, and done it properly and taken time. What they've done is done a bulldozing effort that's going on all around, and they are just bulldozing it through. And if you fight back, yes, you may end up with getting slightly less housing, because you've said that they're beginning to realise that you're serious about stopping some of this happening. But as they've seen at Cressingham Garden, unless you are absolutely 100% united about this, you know, you will not get the changes that you need. But most of all, the local councillors have to talk to the officers. The officers seem to be running things in Lambeth, and they're the ones who keep not listening to anything that you're saying when you said at all these meetings. And the fact that they won't come along in these big meetings, they only want to have these designs up, and they sort of mark you off one after the other. You get 2 people here, 2 people there. They play you all off against other. In Knight's Walk, they told the people living in Cotton Gardens, the tower blocks, that they would get the first of the new housing. They knew that was not going to happen. You know, so they play you off against each other, which is why you must, and the councillors should be making the officers come and actually talk to a big meeting where you're all together, where you can know what everybody else is saying, and you can still have your different opinions. And I think, you know, you really have, it's great that so many people turned up tonight, and this is really only the beginning.
John, that gentleman first, then here, then you, and then you later on. Just you first.
Just to add on to what the gentleman said earlier, I believe I spoke to the councillor, and I was even saying that I was saying that if Lambeth is very clear, is very logical as to what it wants, and it communicates with us at a very early stage, we can get something done, because we all know that the density will have to go up. I even said that. I said it might make sense for you to come and say, listen, you need a whole site. You need to knock the whole site down because we need to build a lot of houses. So let's have a discussion. Where do we take people off? Blah, blah, blah. But if you start at the beginning and you have that discussion, that honest discussion, this is not about refurbishment of the house. No, it is about, we have got a waiting list of 21,000. This site has got, under a clear plan, the ability to house 1,000 people. And we know that it's not going to be possible with where or what it looks like right now. So we need to move all of you somewhere else. Let's sit down, have a discussion, give a year or two, have a full, but be honest with people and give the data. And I even made that point very clear to you. I said that is not, it's when you treat the tenants like fools, like idiots, that is when it becomes much more difficult. But just be honest and give the numbers and say, this is what we are trying to achieve, and you get much more support that way. That's what's happening. Victor, by the way.
Victor, just a minute, John. Just a minute, Alan here first. But before Alan speaks, just on the question of numbers that Kate has raised, we have been told that the money to finance part of this project, which is 64 flats, come from the St. James project that's just over the river, over Vauxhall Station. Beautiful, 8 buildings, very, very expensive. The council, you said about securing social housing within those buildings. The council was told that they couldn't have 8 flats in there, but instead of having 8 flats in there, they would give the money equivalent to the 8 flats to build elsewhere, somewhere else. Because they don't want to mix poor people with rich people. So the money of 8 flats just over the river who allowed the council to build 64 flats in Westbury State. Sorry, Alex.
The upstairs